What up? It's your boy Draper J, aka Brother Ballhead, aka the Mustache Menace, aka Mr. Brown Sipper. And I'm back like Stephen A. Hairline. And I'm here to hit you with another episode of All About the Bills. And I'm here to do Jets versus Bills recap. Let's get into it. Quickly, I want to go over my keys to the game. I had 4 keys to the game, but my last 2 actually they coincide with one another, so I might as well put them together. Run the ball, convert third downs, apply pressure, and force turnovers. Now, let's see how we fared as far as like on running the ball status. Ran the ball. We attempted to run the ball well, 32 attempts, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. All right. Josh Allen was the lead rusher with 14 carries, 57 yards, 4.1 yards a clip, 16 yards was his longest, and 1 touchdown. Next leading rusher, Motor, 9 carries, 30 yards, 3.3 a carry, no touchdowns this game. Zach Moss, 9 carries, 11 yards, 2.7 yards, 7 yards was his longest carry, and rounding it up, you got Isaiah McKenzie, 1 carry, 10 yards, 10 yards was his longest carry. Now, I'm not very comfortable with Josh doing a lot of those design runs. I get why you do it because we were facing maybe top 5 run defense from last year, even though they were missing like a few key components. One they traded away, one opted out for COVID reason. But I think it was more about design because they were looking for the straight up run versus like you got Josh sitting back there in a shotgun and then he just comes out of there and design run. I get that, but I think I don't want us to run to the well too much, and I'm not comfortable with Josh running those design runs because for some reason I'm not really worried about as far as like him getting injured. I'm more or less worried about him with his fumbling issues. Every time they do a design run, they do it too much. And think about it, even last year when they implemented it a whole lot in our offense, when they did those design runs, it really didn't fare too well. I think he had he had too many turnovers, and I think the way he's wired is to play hero ball and to put his team on his back. So he's so worried about making sure he gets every single yard out of each play on those design runs that ball security becomes an issue with him. But, I believe Josh, he's a pro. He's going to work on that for the next game, and we won't really have to worry about that. Next, convert third downs. All right. We converted 7 out of 14 third downs, which is 50%. Like my last show, I said I'd be more comfortable if that was like maybe 8 or 9 for 14. 7 out of 14 third downs converted to first. That's pretty good. And on another note, as far as the first downage, we had 31 first downs. Time of possession was out the roof. I mean, all over Twitter they're making a big deal out of time possession, which is really good if you up and you can control the clock. But those first downs mean we keep drives going. 7 out of those 14 third down situations, we kept drives going. And actually, I'm feeling very confident that we're to the point now we can start scoring touchdowns. Even though this was the Jets, a depleted defense really shouldn't even been in the game with us. Apply pressure, force turnovers. We did. Well, I think we fared very well. So check marks on all those right there. We came up with 3 sacks. Mario Addison, Trent Murphy, and we had Terrell Dotson. 3 sacks out of those guys. And a shout out to Terrell Dotson, the way he played in this game. Like I said, him and Delshon Phillips must have been like the best kept secret on our team during training camp. Because the guy played pretty good. And I'm very confident that we may have somebody just in case if Matt Milano or Tremaine can't go against the Dolphins, that we have at least 2 pieces that maybe can step in. I mean, those are very big shoes they have to fill, but I believe I feel very confident in those 2 guys. They can get out there and play. Forced turnovers. They had a Matt Milano interception, Jordan Poyer forced a fumble, and you had Jerry Hughes recover the fumble. So those are the things that we need to continue those trends as far as like the rest of the season. Run the ball is something I need to see out of this offense kind of limit some of those mistakes out of Josh. I wouldn't like for him to run it 14 times, but with his next opponent and the way Cam Newton seemed like he had success against that defense, be prepared to see a little of that again this next game. But I would rather that it be a nice mixture of motor and mouse in the pass and running game. All right, now, I was very not concerned, but I just wanted to see how these wide receivers, our receiving core, would fare against the secondary. I wanted to see, could they get open, which in my mind they should have, which they did. Okay, and I was like, I even said that I'm not one to subscribe to like just feeding Stephon Diggs every play. Now if he's open, let him eat. But if he's not open, go to the next option. If Smoke is not open, go to the next option, go to Cole Beasley, and so on and so forth, Dawson Knox. I wanted to see how the ball distribution, mainly, that's what my main reason for seeing how they perform. I want to see how the ball distribution would be as far as the receiving core. Now, let me run down the stats of the receivers for the day. Stephon Diggs, 8 catches, 86 yards. He played like an alpha receiver. He played like a number one. That's all I want to see out of him, because he looked like the best player as far as like the receiving option. And he did. He came up with some very big catches. He came up with some catches that last year that if we would have had him in a lot of situations, we won a lot more games, maybe even would have played on into the next round of the playoffs had we would have had him in the Houston game. Smoke, 6 catches, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. Caught one on the smoke screen. So and I like that how Josh changed the play at the line. He saw the coverage was playing off him because they didn't want to get beat deep. So run a smoke screen, and it worked out to where we scored. Cole Beasley, 4 catches, 58 yards. He came up with some very big catches, few third downs he helped convert, and with those three there, that's how I would like to see those guys work all year long. And rounding off the receiving performance, you got Motor, 5 catches, 23 yards. Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis showed up with 2 catches apiece. And I like the fact that we use Motor in that passing game. He didn't have a very productive game rushing wise. Like I said, we were facing a pretty good defense for us against the run. But I like the fact that we're getting him his touches in the passing game. 5 touches to me is the sweet spot I like to see from him as far as like in the passing game. I wouldn't like to just go to the well too much on there, because we have more options in the passing game. But just like something kind of sneaky, just in case they run a defense that can cover everything that we're doing out there. You can't cover a 6th man coming out the backfield. You can't cover a 5th man coming out the backfield, or maybe even lined up wide in the mismatch with a strong safety or an outside linebacker. So shout out to Dable. He coached a pretty good game. Things that stood out for me in this game, Josh finally got his 300-yard game. Now we can stop talking about it all over Bills Twitter. Finally got the 300-yard game. And Josh and Dable, just like I alluded to, Dable called a pretty good game. And it seems like to me, these two are like the Bills Mafia odd couple. It's like you'll see a play call that you might not agree with, and you'll be like, why would you call that in that situation? Or a decision that Josh would make that would probably turn the ball over, errant throw. But in the end of the game, from last year until now, it seems like it works. And leading me to my next thing that stood out in the game, it's like us as fans and our fandom as Bills Mafia. It's like we've been in turmoil so long that we're just, I guess, trained to see the worst. Just like, it's like that game right there. The first half, Josh was on fire. Second half, cooled off, like we took our foot off the gas. But in the end of the game, when you look at the stats, you see the result is a win. A win is a win, So we can't complain about that. A win is a win. But it's like, when you think about the play calling, it wasn't a terrible game call by Dable. It's just at times, it's sometimes head scratching. I believe if you watch any game around the league during the Sunday, it's always even the best, even the even the Hall of Fame, supposedly Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning coaches, they always make one question and call. But if it works, you're a genius. But if it doesn't work, it's always gonna be questioned. So Dave was always in a situation where it doesn't work out, or it's always one of those "why would you make that call" type of situation. But overall in this game, I believe Dable coached well. He coached Josh up to his strength, the run game, get him involved, get him some easy throws, make sure he work his number one, and Josh made better decisions. Just think about last year in that first Jets game. They started out throwing. They did it the same way, but Josh's decision making wasn't all the way there. I see that growth in this game. And also, the last thing that stood out to me, this game kind of reminded me of the first Fiends game last year, where it looked like we were in control. We was going to run away with the game, but then we kind of let them hang in there. We really want to take care of our business. Then we let them score late, and then they needed to recover onside kick, which was recovered by Michael Hyde, which he returned for a touchdown that game. Same way with this game. But I think Michael was like, you know what, the risk is greater than the reward, because it looked like he had a lane. He could at least probably got about 15-20 yards, maybe broke it, but he just like grabbed it, laid it down, let's get out here with the W. Lastly, with no preseason, I want everybody to calm down, since I say to me we should have beat those Jets 50-10, maybe 50-0. But we had no preseason game, and the way our schedule breaks down, it kind of worked in our favor. We get two teams that really shouldn't be able to compete with us, and the Jets last week and the Dolphins this week up and coming. So this is kind of like our two tune-up games. So it's really like these two games are our preseason. Then we get ready for our big test of the season, which are the LA Rams, which they didn't look too bad the other night. So that's gonna be our first main test, but let's not look past the Dolphins. All right, and that's my show. All right, tune in for my next show will be the preview of the Dolphins Bills game. And if you're looking for more content out of me and All About the Bills, go to All About the Bills on Facebook, join the group. All About the Bills on Twitter. My Twitter handle on there is All About the Bills, or Draper @Draper Jackson 1. All one word, capital D, capital J. You can get at me. All right, and on Instagram, All About the B _ Get at me on there. I'm pretty active on there. I try to post daily. Also, YouTube, All About the Bills, which is what you're hopefully watching this on now, or however you're enjoying the All About the Bills content. And for my podcast audience, I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, all podcast platforms except for Apple Podcasts. I'm working on trying to get on Pandora soon. And if you forget all of those, if that's too much information, then you can get at me. You can go to my webpage, aatb.buzzsprout.com. It has links to everything on there. You can either go straight into, you can listen to the podcast on that page. You can go to my YouTube channel. You can go to Twitter. You can go to Facebook. And if you are part in one of those platforms, subscribe as far as the podcast audio side, it's all on there too. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All About the Bills is in. Let's make this thing trend. Let's make AATB, #AATB trend. And I'm out of here. Peace.